Thank you, sir. I would like to introduce myself. I am Dr. Hamza. I work as a lecturer at the University of Mentouri, Constantine, Algeria. My field of interest is information system, especially agile methods. Today I would like to talk about of one of my development application uh, 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 for, for this the actual situation COVID-19. So the outline of the application is here is divided into four parts: an introduction, a description of the application, an explanation of the application build and release, and we will finish with a conclusion. The control of COVID-19 disease is really challenging because it needs both early detection and treatment, surveillance and outbreak. The control of this kind of disease is confronted by logistical, educational, and temporal constraints that are intensified by high volume of patients. This delay of the prescription of treatment amplifies risks of suffering and mortality. Connected devices offer new possibilities to rapid detection intervention of the new cases. The emergency of COVID-19 pandemic has led technology seek solutions in, in every field to the different problems caused by this disease. Uh, Many aspects of technology are currently considered in the struggle against COVID-19, among which is medical image processing, disease tracking, prediction outcomes, computational biology and medicines, etc. And especially connected devices offer new possibility to rapid detection and intervention of new cases. As problematic, we talk about the heterogeneity of the platforms requires application developers to develop specific solutions of each problem. We have teams to develop for Android, iOS, web, desktop. Each team has each team has own cost, specific exigence, etc. We propose a cross-platform application that permits the developer to use one code to build application in different platforms. This not original contribution for the use of across platform is a use case for the use of across platform. As an example of use case, this application is development on Google Flutter framework. It allows code reuse across Android, iOS, desktop, and web, which is in a beta version. This application has three parts: interface screens, data manipulations, authentication, implementation. For the flux of the application, we have the main file in Dart language after the root long page. For authentication, we have in the right the login page and in the left the home page with the different situation in different files. For the user interface, in example, the build method of the class login page state that return a widget for the authentication interface because Flutter is based in widgets. We have the build widgets, the main method in the login page state with different widgets in spirit. We have especially the cards one and the container, etc. The second example about the class my home page state that return a widget for the home interface. We have also different widgets in the principal widgets with one column and containment and card, different card, etc. The skeleton of the class formular global state that implement the diagnostic form and the result interface. Just an example. Now for the data manipulation, the application data is composed of the diagnostic questions and the weighting of possible answers. The co-author of the paper is a genetic specialist. He works in the weighting of possible answers. It's a study in genetics and in the medicine. The data is held in JSON format and manipulated in the class to calculate the diagnostic score. As implementation of the method score, we have how we calculate this score with this method. We must use just JSON data to calculate it. So in the authentication implementation, we use the Firebase authentication. It's a Google authentication service to manage user authentication for sign in, create a new account because it's a public application, sign out, and check the current user in the application. So here's the code of the file auth Dart, we use the language Dart, that implements the code of Firebase authentication service calling. It's a standard file to implement the Firebase authentication services. For the application build and release, unlike the code base, it's unique for all the platforms. The build process is specific of each platform. In fact, to build an Android application, for example, this is the example of our paper, there should be a prepared release mainly by reviewing the application manifest, reviewing the build configuration, and building the application of release. For example of screens, we have the screen of authentication. DZ COVID-19 track means that the application is for Algerian patients. It's DZ, acronym in Algeria. The home screen after authentication. The form for the diagnostic. We have translated this application to English, but the principal language of the application is French. For this reason, the form is in French. We have different information data about the form to detect if there is a problem. The diagnostic result screen, for example, for this patient, nothing to report. So, as conclusion, we have quickly present a cross-platform application for COVID-19 disease track as a case study of cross-platform use to develop application. This application uses a list of questions with their weighting answers. These questions and the weighting answers are prepared with a genetic specialist to calculate the score of response given by a potential patient with COVID-19 disease symptoms. As the most stable platform in Flutter and the most used by patients, Android is our main target. And as a perspective, as a researcher, we look to improve the application by adding other functionalities and testing them in the different platforms. Thus, we look to implement a machine learning model that enhance the algorithm used to calculate the score uh, and use other metrics for that. Thank you for your listening.